Hey boys, how you guys doing? Thanks for following Mistakes Made 7, Spitfire 3000, the St. John, Midnot, Mizu Black River, the Cheesy 101st, Teddy Belly, Yoda Tech, Blizzard. I very much appreciate you guys for joining us today on stream. I got it's gonna be a bit of a chill session here today, so we're gonna be talking some things. $40K and chill, something like that. Actually, we've got some special guests today that I'm gonna introducing here in just a bit. Now, bear with me here. Been some changes, the layout to the stream on my end, so 1 second. Oh boy. Let's see. Okay, boys. Hello.
Evening.
Hey guys. Let me get you guys right on the audio levels. Guys, I am joined here today with Aladaris and Digilord. You guys want to just say what's up and
Hey everyone. Good to be here and be back again.
Hello for the first time.
Hey Digi, it's been a long time since we last talked, man.
Probably has, but my memory is god awful, so I don't remember it.
Yeah, it's been a while. I wanted to get a Memeking in here or Asterisk. It's been a really long time since I talked to that dude.
Instead, you're stuck with us.
Yeah,
So...
you know, short notice. What are you gonna do? So I just wanted to experiment today a little bit. Like I wanted to get together a few people, mods from the server, and then I just wanted to talk about some things. You know, I've got the community webpage open here, and maybe we can talk about some of the things that they've been releasing. For the community, huh?
Sounds good.
So how have you guys been today?
Great. I'm located in the Bay Area, so shit's on fire, very literally. But you know, hopefully there's going to be rains and no more thunderstorms.
Oh, you're over there in Cali, right?
Yeah. So.
Oh my
shit's on
god,
fire.
dude!
So sorry for you.
Every day I hear like something new from Cali, something awful happening in Cali.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cali's kind of not good right now.
But what can you do? All right, let's see what's going on right now.
Yeah. Now I don't have any kind of like this is gonna be just really off the top of our heads, right? I don't have like a script in front of me. But I did at one point in time, I did want to actually talk about a bit of what's going on with the server. So
We're still gonna try to do the meme thing.
Yes, we're gonna do the meme thing. We're gonna do the Memeking competition, and we're gonna show everybody on the stream everybody's submissions and whatnot, and we're gonna.
Speaking of competitions,
What's that?
I have a bone to pick with you still, Malice.
Oh yeah? About what?
I never got the shirt.
You never got the shirt?
I never got the shirt.
Or
It's been a raffle on the server, and I never got the shirt for it.
Was it the first edition one? It never made it to you?
Don't remember. I should still have the original conversation where you're asking me for an address to send it to. Sitting someone.
Dude, Mr. Print must have never have sent it. I'll check up on that. I can't even. It's been such a long time. I can't even remember.
Get those shirts out.
February the 4th. And then I got an update on the 3rd that it'll be working on the shirt, and he asked for a shirt size.
Did you give me a address?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, he's talking about can't hear the guests. Yeah, guys, give me a second here. Let me update these boys on the audio level. Oh, okay, I see what's happening here. There we go. Yes, you should be able to hear them now.
Testing.
Can you hear me now?
They should be able to. I see the audio levels there. I tell you what, man. I mean, with just, you know how many shirt designs, you know how many shirts that we've actually done? It's not even funny. Like, we always try to like come up with something new, like in the community. Like, whenever, you know, there's something that I want to kind of like push for, I always come up with like this original design, and then we kind of roll with that. But I always make it a point to never try and sell the shirts outright. I only try to make it so that they get out for free.
My racist says it sounds like we're really far away.
A bit
I think
clearer.
it's better now, I think.
I can do game bar. All right, they should definitely come out clearer now. Okay. I mean, do you guys remember the Dominus stuff? You know, when it comes to those kind of things, like whenever you're stacking up all these different types of events, and it's something that I've learned, is that you kind of get overwhelmed. Like, you will literally overwhelm yourself with all the logistics of everything. Like, we still have the I still have to get out some of the Alpha League stuff, and I have to go through my post office, which is always not very pleasant.
Well, the reason why I might sound quieter to you is because I am going through a tablet rather than through a mic. I don't actually have a mic to use. So it's annoying, but I make do with what I've got.
Yeah, they should. No, I'm looking at the audio levels. You should be coming out fine. That's always the trick when you're doing these kind of streams with everybody's mics. You got to get those audio levels just good.
Yeah.
But like, but yeah, as I was kind of saying, like, I mean, just look what happened with Dominus. Like, every quarter we were supposed to have a poll where everybody would be able to submit and vote on like the next Dominus. And so like the logistics of that kind of got a little bit overwhelming on top of the Alpha League stuff, all the other shirts and the dice and all the different things that I was trying to do at the time. And so what actually happened is that I just kind of forgot about it. And I don't think that there's nobody really knows what I'm even talking about because they've never heard of it. But at one point in time, we were doing a thing where everybody could vote on a poll for the mentor. So their favorite mentor, send out a shirt and give them a roll. I gotta ask you guys, And I'm talking to you, Aladaris, and yourself, Digi.
Mm-hmm.
I need to ask you guys some questions.
Mm-hmm.
Moderation on the server.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
So, the server has obviously expanded to a immense size and scale, and there's a bunch of channels, right? So I think the mod team does its best to really list to any pings and alerts that happen on any of the channels. Obviously, there's too much stuff. We can't actively go through each channel. Like, even going through general and keeping updated on that is going to be a very difficult task. So what we really rely on is community reports and the community basically telling us, like, hey, there's a problem here in this server, and we would like something to get resolved. So I think the mod team has been pretty active in responding to these alerts. Obviously, a lot of us are very open if you just directly message us, or if you ping us as well. Sometimes the ping gets lost amid the ocean of text, especially if chat is very active during that period of time.
Especially if it's like in general, because pings in general can get lost like lightning. That channel's like the single most active one in the server, except for maybe like competitive Tactica tends to get as busy. Heresy occasionally gets that bad. But general it can go at peak hours, it just floods with messages going every which way.
Nope. Wait here.
Carry the Emperor's will as your torch.
So yeah, like, no, you guys are absolutely right. Like, sometimes I get pinged for things that don't actually even need moderation review. Like, some people will just legitimately ping me for no reason. On top of that, I get about maybe 5 or 6 messages a day. I guess that's a little bit on my fault for advertising that I'm doing some of the learning games and whatnot. But yeah, no, it gets overwhelming, and there's been kind of a dynamic that's been developing on the server that I would say. It's a little bit difficult to talk about it, but essentially what I've noticed has been happening, especially with some of the channels, is that there's been some kind of proliferation going on where people are constantly trying to test the waters, right? And so those situations are quite difficult. Especially for me, it's quite difficult because, you know, there's always that constant like towing the line, trying to kind of push the boundaries of what can actually be posted. And since there's so less frequent moderative action, when moderative action always comes out, or not always comes out, but when it actually does come out, right, it has a level of controversy behind it, right, which makes my job kind of harder. Needs to be.
Yeah, so the thing about rules, or having rules in place, is there's going to be people that always want to bicker about exactly what is legal, what is not legal, what can I be punished for, and then once they are punished, they're going to start fighting for it, right? It's just very common. You can't really stop people from doing it, but I think the community guidelines we have in place are relatively straightforward. Really,
And at least part of the problem is we kind of exploded when lockdown happened. And I don't think we were 100% prepared for the influx of traffic that we suddenly got into the server. And I think we were more used to dealing with only like a couple hundred people at most. And now we're dealing with like several thousand spread out over a dozen different channels. And so you're getting like 100 people a day every day for months on end, there will be people who will come in, not necessarily because they're actively malicious, but just because um, they will start pushing the boundaries because that's what they're used to doing. Because it's like, oh, okay, so I know I can go this far and no further, so I'll always be at this level all the time.
Yeah, so I think the mod team overall has been pretty conservative in handing out very harsh and strict punishments. We try to review everything that is given to us properly before we come to any firm decision. So, like, really, the guidelines are pretty basic. It's just don't be unsportsmanlike, don't be super rude, don't intentionally go out of your way to insult, defame, slander other people. No inappropriate content, though there's been a lot of people trying to pickle with what the definition of that is, but really, it shouldn't be that hard. So, I think really the mod team wants to be as lenient as possible, but really just due to some concerns, if things keep on going worse, then we might have to be a little bit more strict. But that's just the case of what's going on right now.
For a bit of criticism for the mod team, and I'm not going to place blame on anyone person in particular, because I will admit I've been a little bit guilty of this as well. There has been a bit of, I guess you could say, disconnect between various members of the mod teams being not super sure what kind of direction the moderation should go. Should we be more strict? Should we try to cut down on anything and everything? Should we be more lenient to try to keep dialogue and channels open? Should we how much of a balance are we trying to aim for? What are we trying to we don't even always agree on what should or should not be removed at times.
So from time to time, that does.
We recently had an issue in the politics channel where things got out of hand and people started flinging around accusations and stuff went downhill really freaking fast, but it has since calmed down and the folks involved has since apologized.
Yeah, like that was something I was going to actually talk about before. The whole topic of discussion there was pretty inflammatory, right? We had some pretty strong opinions from both sides, and I gotta admit, as I got into the groove of the conversation, because I wasn't one involved, I did get a bit heated, and that's what Thunderdome politics is kind of about. Bringing up Thunderdome politics was kind of, I wanted an outlet for the controversial topics, especially for politics and discussion going around it. But when I got consumed by that conversation, it was pretty bad. But I took a break, just human. Took a break. I pulled back and I evaluated what actually had happened. Came back, issued apologies, got us back on track. I feel.
Yeah, so I think what we can do is have maybe a community poll on what direction moderation should take. Should we be more strict? Should we be more open? What level of punishment do you think we should deal out? And just look for feedback from the public.
I think having a better guideline for what punishments are given and for when is probably a good idea, if not just for the mod team internal structure, but also for the user base itself. Because having a consistent means of punishment or for infractions is necessary for managing any really large group of people. Because if you don't do it in a consistent manner, you're going to get people complaining like, oh, you're being biased, or well, this person got banned for this, but this person who did something similar didn't get banned. What's the deal with that?
I've seen, I've seen that. Now, I do want to clarify though that there is some guidance that I do want to give here with the community. When this server was formed, right? The very focus of it, right, was Warhammer 40K. Okay? And it's always going to be Warhammer 40K, and it's about giving back into the hobby that we all celebrate, and so that's always going to be the guiding star, right? How to get new people interested into Warhammer 40K, having a positive environment, Warhammer 40K, and just kind of basing that just the direction in that way. Now, some of the stuff that I've done in a way to kind of help prevent situations where we go too crazy, right? Where we go too heavy-handed and we issue out too many punishments, and that's kind of been the form of Heresy General, right? Like, Heresy General is like for those kind of under the table kind of discussions and stuff like that. But just kind of me going in there and reviewing some of the stuff that was posted, it's like none of a lot of that stuff is inappropriate. And now that we have a partnership, there's obligations that we need to fill. It can't just like the mob rule and all that stuff. I do agree we need to maybe clarify a bit on the guidelines, and I've been kind of working towards that, and I've been trying to get the input for everybody in the mod team, because like you said, there's a lot of difference in opinions for how moderation be out, but for the most part, I think now we are in a bit of a stable area. I mean, just setting down in Heresy General, like, clear definitions of what content is acceptable and what's not acceptable, something I think really helped a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've been making a lot of great progress in the past couple of weeks, and overall, I would encourage the community to like just let us know if anything's wrong. Let us know if there's any difficulties that you're encountering, whether it be with a channel, with a person, or with a current, or it's just anything that's going on. Well, the mod team's always open and ready to help.
Yep. I'm glad that people are able to feel safe enough to contact me directly if they've got issues with things. And that's what I would prefer people to do rather than just pinging a moderator, because who knows when someone will actually get to that. But if you ping a message a mod directly, you're probably more likely to get it handled.
Right.
Especially if you're trying to ping a mod in like the general chat, then that can easily get lost. And I have tried to respond to a ping and like, where the heck is this thing?
Yeah, there's just so many pings, right? So like we try our best to answer the pings, but we really can't.
I mean, the system is not perfect, but it's a system that we have in place, and I will say that even if something is posted, don't immediately catch up on that. Like, we will eventually catch up on it. Just like with issues, if you message, and it can be any of the mods, right? Message us, and we will try our best to help, and go in there and we'll do what's done.
Yep. And I think we've settled on this topic for quite a little while, so probably time to move on to something more exciting and bring the tone of the conversation up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about something more positive.
It's a grim thing.
Space Marines.
I gotta say, what? Okay.
So we're shifting from one grim thing to another grim thing.
Yeah, we'll talk about
Space Marines later.
We'll talk about those 4-wound. What actually has changed here? What am I looking at here? The downloads. Okay, this is the wrong thing. Has anybody actually used the Warhammer app?
I checked it out real briefly, and then I realized that A, their army builder isn't ready yet. B, there's no real search function to find anything within each army, and the Psychic Awakening content isn't merged with their respective faction. And C, the rulebook download that you're supposed to get with the app is a Google Doc link.
Oh no. A Google Doc link?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
That's pretty terrible.
See, this
It's
is
like the bare bones, low effort app they could ever possibly get, which is really confusing considering the Age of Sigmar app is actually apparently really good.
so the memes that we saw that like of that I don't know, have you guys seen the meme where the guy was like talking about being asked to develop an app that he absolutely had no idea on how to do? Have you guys seen that meme? So you're telling me that's true?
Pretty much.
See, this is why I don't understand why, you know, Games Workshop doesn't reach out to somebody that can do this good. Like why haven't they reached out to Battlescribe in some form?
There's probably some legal thing why they can't talk to Battlescribe directly. I don't know what it is, but there probably is some legal thing that they can't just like work with them or like try to buy some form of their service. I don't know for sure, but that would be my initial guess.
So you're saying that the roster editing is not actually in there?
Nope.
Oh my lord.
Very disappointing, to be honest.
Yeah, and you know, I am gonna try my very best to be pro Games Workshop at every turn that I can, but like this stuff makes it kind of hard with talk about, because like
all the up-to-date information in terms of like codex rules and Psychic Awakening stuff is actually in there like they said it was. It's just not organized in a way that it really needed to be.
yeah.
All the other like rulebook information, like army special rules and everything, don't go to a Google Doc like the rulebook does. So that's a little bit better, but it doesn't actually have any of the unit cards, at least from the brief looking through I went through. And because the army builder part of the app it isn't even installed yet, then I can't really say anything about that supposed functionality.
But they're charging people money for this. What you're basically saying is that you're being charged to look at a PDF of the rules
Yep.
that you have to buy, right? You gotta buy that. You gotta buy the PDF. You gotta buy the complete rules first, right?
No.
No, okay. I thought that they said that they were gonna charge. Okay. So
You're probably confusing the core rules with the codex rules, because part of the app functionality is supposed to be when the 9th edition codex drops, the 9th edition codexes will come with a code, a one-use time code that you put into the app to unlock the digital version of the codex. That will be in the app.
Okay. All right. I think I understand. Still kind of sounds. Yeah. I mean, is it subscription or?
It is a subscription to get the updated codexes when they drop, or it's a subscription to get the army builder, which isn't even in yet.
Not in yet, but they're charging for it now.
Yes.
Ouch. Okay.
Basically, they only have the free version ready, but even the free version is bare bones.
Well, we can only hope that that gets fixed soon.
Yeah, I mean, like if the app was actually.
I don't think anyone would even care anymore if they actually managed to fix it.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It kind of sounds like a disaster. I wouldn't What? Part of. To be honest.
I have no idea if they just didn't care to put in the money and effort needed to actually get it to work. And I don't think that's completely true because, again, the Azir app for Age of Sigmar is actually apparently quite good and completely functional as a army builder app for that game. So we know they can do it. So I don't know if they couldn't get the same company to do it for the 40K app,
Right.
or if it was an in-house thing and they didn't apply the same people, or maybe it was the plague got in the way of development. It's like, we've got to get it out by this time because we already said we were going to have it out, and we're already having all these other delays with book launches and everything being pushed back, so we've got to try to get back on schedule.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like that situation, right?
A half-done product. So, as much
Ouch.
defense as I can give them, because I have no idea exactly what is going on behind the scenes, so I can only guess.
Right. I mean, yeah, honestly, we're not affiliated with 40K in any way, so we wouldn't actually know that. We're observing this as everyone else is too, but that's pretty crazy. What about the Age of Sigmar app? Do you have to actually pay for that? What kind of pay model are they going with on that?
I don't know for sure, because I've only played like maybe 5 games of Age of Sigmar, and so I've never actually used their app.
Is it the War Scroll Builder? Could that be?
No,
Is it a
that's
different one?
It's called Azir, A-Z-Y-R.
Oh man. Alright. So Warhammer 40K app, so far kind of a... I mean, we all kind of saw that coming though, to be honest.
Yeah,
I saw
the
that
app
coming.
is unfortunately dead in the water.
Have you guys been playing any 40K lately?
I haven't really been following the meta. I've only discussed it a little bit, unfortunately, but it seems to be shaping up to be pretty interesting.
I don't follow meta. I'm anti-meta.
And I'm waiting for my mind to be made up on the meta. Well, I mean, custodes, right? Right?
Yeah, I mean, it turns out when every other army loses about 15 to 20% of their models, and you have the exact same number, you're pretty good, especially because you also got a couple of extra new rules.
I haven't even looked at the new objectives. Is the standard the grand tournament stuff?
They have standardized the objective model. They have actually taken a lot of guidelines from ITC. They haven't copied it one for one, but apparently one of the guys who ran one of the major tournaments, I think it was Nova, was one of the big play testers for 9th edition, and so he implemented a lot of ITC style rules for the actual missions.
See, that's what I can get behind. I can get behind that. Like, when you actually approach communities, like, you know, they approach ITC and they're like, yo, well, maybe they didn't approach ITC, but they got someone that was in there involved, right? Now,
Yeah.
I haven't played with the grand tournament stuff, but I'm sure that those are really fun, right? Refreshing.
I haven't done back in 8th edition, I never wanted to play ITC because, as I said, I'm anti-meta and I do not like competitive play at all. Like, I will bring terrible units in my army list because, hey, I like this unit, and screw you for making me not want to play units that I like.
But have you played any, are you caught up any on War of Seven Fronts?
I've been following it. I'm still waiting for the updated version of the rules before I jump back into the system.
I gotta say that War of Seven Fronts, and this is being run by Mothman, it's when I was like kind of reading through some of the stuff he's coming up with, it's pretty thing. And now he's integrating the Endless Crusade stuff.
Yep. The Crusade is the new narrative system that came with 9th edition.
Exactly.
I'm actually getting ready to do a sort of my own Crusade system. I was invited to do it with a couple other friends, and we have our own little server, only about like 5 people in it. We haven't started yet, but we will get started eventually, probably like in a week or two. So we'll be trying things out to begin with, starting with like 50 power level, which is roughly like 1,000 points I'm seeing so far, and playing it like an actual Crusade game and see how it works. We'll have a couple of homebrews, but nowhere near the same point that Moth is doing. And let me just give a shout out to Mothman. He's been doing an amazing job running War of Seven Fronts.
Mothman is a boss.
He's contributed so much to the community, so really kudos to him.
Big kudos.
He is a pillar of this server, and I am very thankful that he is here.
I guess now is well, maybe, but there is actually something that I'm working on. You guys know who Romrig is, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Everybody knows who Romrig is. Well, I'm actually gonna start a commission with him for a new narrative. Gonna be a big kind of storyline that I want designed. It's gonna be for a new event. It's gonna be designed for easy entrance and for Twitch streams. It'll be a narrative campaign called Crux Solaris. It's that interesting little banner that you guys see on the server sidebar. And it's something that I am extremely excited working on. So we're working on those things. We'll have all kinds of things like homebrew in there and stuff. I still got to work out the details with Rom because he's kind of working in on that. But that is something that I'm actively working on. And I hear that the Endless Crusade stuff is fantastic. So I was looking at it. It looks great.
It seems like it introduces a lot of new variety, and it's like that's you can play it competitive, you can play it casual. It really gives you more choice and control in how a game goes.
But it also does a very good job at building up, right? Like you can after every battle, like there's like a unique story, and they give you plenty of avenues to implement that with your stuff like battle scars.
It actively encourages the your guys aspect of the hobby, rather than just trying to build the most optimal list as optimally as you can every single circumstance, which is what competitive is, and that is why I'm not a huge.
Yeah. Like just the fact that you can get battle scars, like if your unit got killed in action or whatever, would make like a battle scar roll and build the chart, and that's what happened to that like debuffs. Then of course you've got buffs if you win your game. The battle honors. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's really all about that your guys aspect.
So great to play in prolonged campaigns.
Units as they go through the various battles in the Crusade games. They got this squad got this buff when they managed to kill a squad of orcs and take the objective from them, or something like that.
Yeah. Secret agendas. There's a kind of build up your warlord thing in there. And then all the missions themselves kind of reminiscent of ITC. Pretty interesting deployment zones. I look forward to that. But apparently, I believe Mothman's kind of using that right now for War of Seven Fronts. So if you guys haven't already, guys check out the server and scroll down. You'll find War of Seven Fronts. You can find the information. Check out that War of Seven Front primer.
Yeah, it's very open. You can be completely, or almost completely new and join it as long as you have basic grasp of the rules. It's a casual campaign setting that has been going on for quite a while now, very successfully. So if you're interested in joining it, I do highly encourage it.
I am super looking forward to the next season of War of Seven Fronts because it's shaping up to be even better than the previous seasons we've had because each planet is now being subdivided into different sections you can capture, and they're going to have their own like maps, like Risk style or Total War style maps that you can move your armies around. And you can even complete objectives to a point where you can actually blow up a planet. So,
That's what everyone's aiming for. Exterminatus. Exterminatus everywhere.
Oh yeah. And someone asked in the chart, I can't imagine why you'd want to play narrative TTS when you could just play an actual video game with a storyline.
Well, you're gonna make the storyline. That's the thing. The whole point of this is the storyline happens based off of the events of all the people that are in the campaign. Alright, so if one faction's doing well, the story will change. And if another faction suddenly takes over their planet, then they're going to cause some major changes in that story as well. So it's not like a game with a fixed story. That it's one where your actions are literally creating it.
Also, one point that playing a video game brings up is currently there aren't any good 40K video games to play with a story to go through.
Yeah, man. There's only so many times I can play Dark Crusade before I'm just for bro. Or Soulstorm. Right? Like, how many times are you gonna play Soulstorm, dude?
Yeah.
I guess you could play Dawn of War 2 in that co-op game, but just one map. Hey, Rattlesnake, thank you very much for the sub, bud.
I am looking forward to Dark Tide.
Ooh, yeah. Dark Tide, huh? But wait a minute, guys. Come on. We just got a Left 4 Dead Warhammer 40K game not too long ago. Got Space Hulk.
Which one? There's several Space Hulk games.
No.
Well,
We got Space Hulk.
Video.
The new one. It's Left 4 Dead. Were you not aware?
I am aware of a Space Hulk game where you're playing as a Terminator going through fighting Gene Stealers and Gene Stealer cultists.
Yeah, that's the one.
From the previews I have seen, the little bits of Let's Plays, it's not particularly great. It's not terrible, but it's functional.
See, a
more closer example, because I'm seeing some people bring this up, would probably be a better, more recent 40K game would probably be like Mechanicus. I've heard good things about that, and that's more like 40K meets XCOM.
Yeah.
I kind of want to play that.
That game is hard.
I've seen some clips and vids about that, and the atmosphere, the audio, like for music and voice acting, is amazing.
That game is hard, and I should totally replay it. But I mean, for like a Left 4 Dead style kind of, that's what it's gonna be, right? It's gonna be like a 4-player co-op. You go through the levels and kill a bunch of nurglings.
So we just got a question about two Marines.
Oh well, that is
that's for like. Are we going to do like rules discussions or this stream? I don't know. We can.
Dude, I mean, if you have some rules you want to let's bring it out, like, because I don't have anything open in front of me except for the Warhammer community page that doesn't really have too much on it.
Alright, well...
How about that new Necron guy who's literally just 6 guns on a tripod?
What's that called? That interests me.
It's the new Destroyer variant.
You have the profile on it?
It's check the Warhammer previews online, Shadow, Iron, and Broken Realms. He shows up. He's a bit further down, but he's in it. It is the...
Oh, I see that model. So the Hexmark Destroyer.
Oh, this guy.
Yep.
So do you have the video playing in the background?
You guys want me to play the video?
Well, I just hear it running right now. So, was that from? Oh no, never mind. That was from my computer. I'm being silly. But we don't have the stats. It looks pretty cool though. It's probably going to be a character kind of like the Gene Stealer one with 3 guns, the Kellermorph.
Well, it's based off of the death marks, and the death marks are anti-character. And thankfully, the death marks are actually getting a gun that works, unlike their previous gun, which was terrible.
Yep.
Their previous gun was a rapid-fire bolter. That's all it was, with a chance of doing that can ignore the character targeting rule and had a chance to do mortal wounds on 6s.
Yeah, so we're gonna get a Necron character sniper, basically.
And the new Deathmark snipers, they get an extra point of strength and an actual AP to their guns and keep the ignoring character and mortal wounds possibility. So now it's something that could actually be useful. The only real disadvantages is it went from rapid fire gun to a heavy gun, but it did get a range increase, so that will help a little bit.
Yeah, like when you're shooting characters, rapid fire really didn't matter anyways, and most characters are 3-up saves, so having no AP was just terrible. So this is a very nice buff to death marks. Still probably not the best unit for the price that you pay, but definitely if you're looking for something to shoot and ping wounds off of characters, it's gonna be a much better option than before.
So I'm kind of hoping this guy might give like an accuracy buff to death marks around him. I could see him doing something.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I have to look at the profiles, but I mean, he looks badass. I mean, Necron boy, he's got 6 arms.
Now we
5
just
arms.
need updated Flayed One models and an updated player model range. Like, give them some more options, like the Destroyer Cult is getting more options. Like, give us like a Flayer Lord or something like that. That'd be neat.
Yeah.
So they're dropping a codex for Necrons in October.
Necrons and Space Marines are the first 2 confirmed codexes for 9th edition.
Why?
And
I mean,
well, Space Marines was obvious, alright? But Necrons, it's a bit surprising, but it kind of just could mean that they're planning to advance the story with the Necrons, and I think it's been a while since we really got any of that
Considering
content.
that Necrons featured heavily in the 9th edition trailer, and the fact that their entire model line is getting a revamp, and they've been kind of really pushing the fact that Necrons are getting all this new stuff, and they're finally giving a Xenos faction some love rather than leaving them rot at the bottom of the barrel while they continuously give Marines more and more stuff. So I'm happy
that's going to be
in faction it's going to be up in the first wave of releases for 9th edition. Now, if they could only do that for Nids, who got absolutely nothing in the entirety of 8th edition.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're a Nids player, aren't you?
Since 3rd edition.
Oh my god. This must have been just a horrible year.
It's probably going to keep on getting worse.
Oh my god.
We had one good time in 8th edition back near the very start of it where we could spam Hive Tyrants. Ever since then, we've been constantly hit with nerfs.
Yep.
Our PA was average at best.
Yeah, but it does seem like the Elephant in the Room Space Marines is getting a lot of really sweet changes. And we finally understand why Heavy Bolters got their price jacked up by so much as well.
Tell me more about this.
So, bunch of Space Marine models are getting 1 extra wound. So your Tacticals are going up to 2 wounds, your Terminators are going to be 3, and I think some are even going up to 4 as well. So...
and all Chaos Marines are also getting the wound buff too.
Yeah, so the problem with Space Marines was always that they just died to a bunch of AP0 fire if they were in cover, because there were only 1 wound, and this made running a lot of units feel really bad, like Devastators that just died to lasgun fire from 24 inches away. But now they're going to be much more durable against AP0 weaponry, and this is a very significant increase, especially since I think they only went up 1 point to 15. So the points changes might be tentative. They still might go up more in points because, quite frankly, what they are right now is just going to be incredibly efficient. But it's welcome to see because Tacticals have been garbage for so very long. The thing that really excites me though is 3-wound Terminators. Terminators already had their price barely adjusted. They're already quite cheap compared to their 8th edition counterparts. Obviously a little bit more expensive, but compared to the rest of the field, now you almost just want to grab Terminators instead of regular Tacticals if you could.
It will be interesting to see how 2-wound Plague Marines and 2-wound Rubric Marines fare.
Yeah, actually, we do know that they're going to be going up to 18 points per model from 15, or from the 14th of 8th and the 15th that was modified recently. But they're going to be 18. But 18 points for 2 wounds is basically a current intercessor, and that is going to be a pretty good deal for your basic troop, and an even better deal for your elite units. So that's a very welcome, very positive change.
They'll still keep their toughness values, right?
Yep. There's still going to be toughness 4 for the most part. We're also getting some bonuses onto the weapons. So heavy bolsters are going to 2 damage from 1. This makes them your go-to weapon to kill other Space Marines. Very fitting. This is actually, I think, still overall not a great change for the weapon. It's basically specifically meant to kill Space Marines and actually light vehicles now. Not nearly as good at dealing with hordes, but you have your blast weapons to compensate in that regard. Flamers are moving up to 12 inches, so this one's big. I think Meaty's already kind of shafted in 9th edition. It's harder to get in. The map is smaller, which is very good, but it's harder to trap things. 12-inch flamers can be quite painful, especially on vehicles. If they can still target whatever's in melee with them, so...
These weapon changes aren't restricted to Marines only. Every Imperial faction, and I think every faction that has access to these weapons, will be getting the modified version of them.
Yeah. To be honest, the fact that Flamers, or units no longer automatically shoot Overwatch, does make Flamers significantly weaker than they were before, but 12 inches on a lot of the special Flamers, like I know Death Guard had one that was absurdly powerful on one of their characters. You need to have some Tau units with like AP-1, AP-2 Flamers as well. So those things, if they get bumped up to 12, it's a very big deal. And the next weapon change is to your Meltas. Meltas are still, I think, the most expensive special weapon, and they're getting a massive buff. They just get +2 flat damage. I think if you're in half range. It might be half range, or it might just be flat +2. But that's a lot of damage that is going to come out from Melta weapons, and it's going to make them very scary. Average 5.5 damage is insane from one Melta.
But they got a point increase, right? Meltas?
Uh,
I think they're like 20 points each still. Or 20 points for multi-Meltas. I don't know how much a regular Melta is.
They're also changing plasma to only explode on an unmodified one rather than a modified one.
Very welcome. I think this might also mean that you can no longer have safe plasma if you have a +1.
Yep.
We're going to need to find out. So this might actually end up hurting lists more than helping. But overheating on 2s or 3s felt really bad before. So this definitely is gonna help against those lists quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, like the
And
plasmas were like hell blasters weren't that great.
yeah. And then finally, power swords get +1 strength. Power swords were always in the awkward spot of just wounding most things on 4s or 5s, and it just felt terrible to use them. Not good against Shaft. You weren't wounding elites enough most of the time either. So power swords going up to +1 strength is actually very significant. Great buff to the weapon. It's probably actually going to become the preferred melee weapon unless we get something else that's better. And chain swords are also getting -1 AP. So this is another very significant change. Giving -1 AP to oftentimes at least like 10 attacks is, for a minimum sized unit, is just super solid.
That sounds like an awful amount of buffs for. I can't really imagine top on the meta.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be incredibly interesting to see if Space Marines will come back and dominate the meta as they did before. And it's only Space Marine chainswords that are getting the buff, I believe. So Guard's still sad, and Eldar has some chainswords that are going to be sad. No one uses those Eldar chainswords anyways, and most factions have some sort of chainsword or the other. But yeah, Space Marines are getting the really nice buff.
Bot space stock is one go up.
And
Best it
because
did.
because you're the first codex, you're going to be the strongest list there for a decent amount of time until we eventually get the other codexes come out.
Doesn't it feel like we're just kind of repeating things? The meta? Like, wasn't this the case before in 8th?
I mean, it's to be expected, right? If you're the only faction with new rules, then you're going to be good. It's just, I hope they can have a regular release schedule so that meta doesn't become too stagnant or stale.
What do you think about, like, the frequency of updates that we're getting? Like, this was something that we kind of talked about before, and I don't know about you guys. Like me, I'm very interested in meta. I'm very interested in the game, but something that I kind of puts me off is like needing all these books so frequently.
Yeah. So I think,
Admittedly, that is a new thing for the game that only really started in 8th edition. It kind of started showing up in 7th edition, but between 3rd and most of 6th and 7th, you only really needed the rulebook and your codex, and that was it. And up till 8th edition is the first time they've really tried to have a sort of living game where they're constantly updating it, constantly tweaking it, constantly trying to add new stuff to it. Because there are so little changes between, other than from the base rules, from 3rd to 7th edition, that you literally had armies that hadn't changed since like 2nd edition. Like the Dark Eldar went through like 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, at least 5th before they got any line revamp. And the sisters didn't get their line revamp till 8th edition.
Yeah, I do like the fact that they are increasing how often they update things. In fact, I would like this. I believe they are moving to a subscription model where you get access to more books at a cost per month. I think this is reasonable if they want to really start advancing the game at a more rapid rate. So before, even for 8th, factions got 1 codex, and then there was like 2 major updates a year, or sometimes just 1 with chapter approved and 1 with the FAQ in sometime in the middle of June or whatever.
There often wasn't even that. You're lucky to get 1 FAQ to last you for an edition or 2 for a certain faction.
Yeah, so I think I do like the fact that they're becoming more active in releasing new content. I would like to see them be even more active and involved in developing both the casual and competitive scenes. For example, we had a lot of lists in 8th edition that were really allowed to crush the meta for a very long period of time before they got fixed, and I think this was mostly a problem on the more competitive sides, but there were certain things that were very obviously broken and needed to get fixed. There was language that was sometimes broken, and people were just having a lot of complaints about it for one reason or the other. So a lot of this, it's not difficult to fix, but you just need to be active. And I think that's one thing Games Workshop has been trying to do. And I do support it. I do think that they should maybe have each army revamped at least once a year. It doesn't need to be a major revamp, but they can probably look at it like, hey, this thing is lacking. Why are they not popular? Why are they not performing? Or are they too popular? Are they performing too well? Do we need to tone something down? I would like to see more activity from Games Workshop regarding this.
I definitely
To be honest, I will admit I am biased in this regard, but to be completely honest, I think they need to go the rest of this year without any more major Marine releases. Like once the 9th edition Marine Codex drops, Marines should get nothing for the rest of the year, because ever since their 2.0 Codex dropped, they have been unbelievably broken. Like,
Yeah.
overpowering, and the fact that they keep constantly getting more stuff, which doesn't really help in balancing them. It just makes them more broken.
Yeah, I think there's definitely factions that have just been left out, right? Like Tyranids is, I think, the prime
the
example.
big prime. Yep.
They haven't gotten anything, and it'd be nice to get these factions that got codexes near the start of 8th to get them relatively soon, because they're very outdated in terms of what they do.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like to get like, and I'm pretty sure that Tyranids will have one big giant, be done. I mean, like, when's the last time they've done those models, right? They're probably gonna get new models. They're gonna get new stuff. They'll have their time in the sun for sure.
Some of the models are actually pretty recent. The first real model revamp Tyranids had was back in 3rd edition when I originally started playing. And then they had another one, I want to say, around 5th edition. And I think that's where the majority of our models came from. And I know some of the base units like Gene Stealers and Termagants and such, those are back from the 3rd edition revamp, and they haven't really changed since.
So, wow, you're saying that my Gene Stealer models I have sitting over there are 3rd edition?
Most likely, yeah.
Wow, that's really wild. But I wanted to get back a little bit into what I was talking about before, where the releases. I think Aladaris makes a great point where we're constantly getting these updates. I also hear Digi on making sure that we're not over focusing on Space Marine. What about your average Joe, right? Your average Joe that wants to play. I think that there is something to be said with less releases, especially if you don't want to break the bank, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think the thing that
it's definitely a bit of a disheartener, I guess you could say, to get into the hobby, buy the books that you think you need for your army, and then find out, oh, it's out of date now. Like as soon as you buy it, it's like,
yeah, go pick up like 2 other books, right?
yeah, so I do agree that the way they should progress with it is more of an online PDF system where you
Yes.
like the subscription system. I think is a better alternative to buying a new book for your army every year. I think more scheduled releases. So I do know that they like to do all of these trailers and announcements beforehand and keep things hidden. But maybe one scheduled release a month for a new codex, and you have a calendar of what people can expect, and all of this is just going to be automatically updated with the subscription that they have, right? So I don't think access to new books or changes to the books should be an issue if we have these electronic copies running around. And if you have a regular schedule, it's more easy. It's easier for people to actually know, hey, it's March. This is when the orcs are supposed to come out.
But that would
Or
be a
something like
very
that.
difficult. That would be a very difficult situation because obviously they're printing these books out with the intentions of selling them. So I agree with it has to be digital, right? Like there's just no way like you can't like keep buying books every month to play our armies like that's insanity.
Yeah, I think it's more of a business model shift. Of course, it's a very difficult call to make. It probably won't happen in the near term. But
And considering the poor quality the app launched don't get your hopes up that we're going to get anything decent in terms of digital releases anytime soon.
Yeah, digital
But,
is. I guess that's a good point for the subscription model where it's like you're subscribing your tools as they come in. I guess that's a good point if you're kind of business model, but you got to do it right.
yeah, for sure.
You can't just like pop out what was given to us and expect that to be fun. That people are going to be very faithful.
Yeah, and to be fair, they've done these single book releases for a very long time now. So for the people that are familiar with that, going over to constantly need to update your book or your PDF or whatever might be a turnoff. So they need to keep that in consideration as well. But it'll be interesting to see what direction they take.
Also, Black Temp Rap, I think that's how you say his name, had a question for you in the Twitch chat, Malice.
Hey Malice, you want to build my pred tank for me? Can't be left. Also, some Primus Inceptors. Well, the commission service is still open. I don't do any building, but I do painting. The painting streams will be coming back again, boys. I'm not super excited about painting Space Marines, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's still open. Okay.
I wish I was good at painting.
That's nothing to it.
Painting it can get physically painful for me. Like my Nid's color scheme is literally just a black base coat and painting white on their carapace. Because it's simple, straightforward, and easy to do in mass.
Yeah, painting is great, especially when you get into low. But it can also be kind of like a tower. Something that just kind of always hovers above you. So you can actually feel like a slave to. Mind if I share 2 links of my painting spell skills? Sure. But what about you, Alders? Have you gotten into the physical hobby yet?
I have not. I haven't been able to go to a game store for the past couple of months.
That's a lot of people right now.
Yeah. But for me, I'm mostly still just doing things online. Work's been pretty busy as well, so not too much free time. But hoping to get in when everything starts to settle down a little bit.
Well, you're going to be doing the Alpha League stuff with us too. Like, you're going to be joining us for broadcasts.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Back in battle as the meta dude.
Black, it's better than what I could do. I can tell you that right now.
Take a look at
some of his own work.
Got 2 images here.
The face could use some work, but overall, not terrible.
Faces are hard, I will admit. Faces are like some of the hardest parts, but you did pretty good on the rest of it.
So the Terminator, yeah, bud. It's tough. The best, like, this is why I hate painting Space Marines. All right, you have to be absolutely 100% the best coverage, right? You need to have the most evenest, maddest layers. Then you need to come in and then you need to edge highlight. And you need a brown line to edge highlight. Brown line, edge highlight, and edge highlight some more. And then that's when you start to get into. So, all in all, was this your first Terminator?
Also, Sonic Gav mentioned contrast paints. I have actually used some of that for my Necrons that I'm working on. And that's definitely something I was looking forward to in terms of new paints to try out, because it mixes a regular paint and a wash in one. And I've tried some washes with my dids, but I have no idea if I was actually doing it right. So having it just be all one thing is nice to try out. And I think it's working pretty good, but I noticed that I tend to miss spot a whole heck of a lot.
I think that with some more effort and work, you'll be able to paint. But when you embark on that madness, right, that journey, you're probably gonna not like Space more. I can tell you that. But you know, some things that I would suggest is you know, maybe coming in and I like the cloak, right? The cloak's fine. Cloak's great. You know, something that you could do there is also use wash to help you in there. A thin down wash will get in. Definitely, I like the metallics are all right. Metallics are okay. Um, some things that you could probably work better is a little bit on the neatness. I know that faces are just absolutely terrible and terrifying and very hard to do, but that is the first detail that people are going to look at present your model. So maybe taking a look at some help you there. Shading is something that would really help you get some saturation inside. I'm giving you like a super crazy detailed critique, but I'm sorry. That's what I do. So yeah, that yeah. I definitely say you did a good start on your first model. Okay, so the second image is of a commander. No, that's a broadside.
Yep.
Yes, sir. So this is a pretty nice coverage of the blue. I like that these are very well blocked in. And it does appear to be smooth and coat, so you did that really well. That's pretty challenging to do on these towel, I know. Even with a spray, even with your airbrush, you're still gonna have some, especially when you try to pick out details. Good coverage. That being said, there are some things that I would definitely suggest through on is maybe trying to pick out more details. This model, there's a lot of things that you can do. Lots of opportunity. Model pop, especially on the weapon. You know, there's lots of metallic bits come in there with. It doesn't have to be metallic; it could be another color. But just try to break up the model a little bit so that he's not just one big blue boy. Other than that, that's definitely a good improvement. Neatness also something that you want to eye out for. See some of this plate. Oh, all in all, keep working, brother. You'll get it. You'll get there. I promise you. Don't be discouraged. Keep headstrong. And mic is cutting in and out. My mic? Red is meant. Oh, my mic is cutting out. Sorry about that. I got some curse that you don't hear like a reverb. I'm definitely headstrong. I have to be for work. Okay. Yeah, show me some more stuff of you guys. I just popped some examples of pure contrast jobs in the showcase tab. Okay, sure. Well, let's look at that. I mean, today we're just talking about everything, so I would like to actually see what you guys worked on. And we'll have some feedback from Aladaris and Digi. Then we'll look into we'll team showcase. Are you? Yes, you're Lyosoak, right? 07.
No, Sonic has down at the bottom, but there's nothing there.
Sonic.
Oh, he's uploading it right now, so give it a bit.
Oh, okay. Sonic.
Industrial Revolution put up a picture of Morty, work in progress.
Ah, I remember you, Sonic. Had like that super intense conversation about if we're pirates or not.
I mean, technically, we probably are.
I mean, are we though? Are we pirates in the same sense of people using mods in a game? Because when you say pirates, right, I'm thinking about like the pirate scene, uploading and distributing on a broad scale for money or something else. That's what I think of piracy.
Maybe not the models themselves, since it's through Tabletop Simulator, but definitely the books.
Oh yeah, the books. That's the books. So the books I can definitely agree with 100%. Distributing, which we don't do, by the way. We don't do that. But you know, there are some people that do that, and I ain't got nothing to say on that. Can't force anything out of me.
Mum's the word.
All right, so let's see here. We have Sonic with his
Looks like a
Space
wolf
Wolf.
lord.
The Wolf Lord. Ooh, and you do this in contrast paint. You know, actually, boys, I've really been painting with a technique of using very thin down blends of paint lately for all my stuff. So I like the contrast paint. Honest with you, I make my own. So let's start off with the Wolf Lord here. I love the texture. The texture on this is really working for me. There's a lot of saturation in there. How long does this take you to make? Was this this probably didn't take you too long to paint up it?
I'm gonna be right back. Give me 1 second.
Hour, okay. Hour maybe, mostly drying time. Wow. Yeah, so this is pretty good. I love the unnatural texture to it. It's quite good. Honestly, guys, you really should look into using like these ink staining techniques. Like, it doesn't have to be contrast painting, but like just using very watery and heavily saturated paints to paint on your model can achieve these really cool effects as well. What do you think on Aladaris? You see this on stream?
Yeah, I'm not a huge expert on painting, to be honest, but I always did have a soft spot for Space Wolves. They're my second favorite Space Marine faction.
Oh, your second.
Yeah, second.
Welcome back.
But they do look quite nice. So
I'm a big fan of the shading on the fur, right?
yeah, I think it's got some nice texture as well.
Yeah, it's like it's broken up quite well. You got your highlights in there, so heavily saturated. Digilord just came back. Digi, we're looking at we're looking at Sonic's Wolf Lord. What do you think about it?
I think it looks pretty good, especially considering its contrast paints. Uh, I wasn't entirely sure that you could get that kind of detail with the fur with just the contrast, but it seems to have turned out really well.
Yes, this is a very good showcase for the power of the contrast, boys. But that being said, there could be some things. The eyes could be painted. Looks like we got some details in there. But for what, 10 minutes of 20 minutes of work, this is fantastic. Also, why is the tip of your barrel red?
It's a Nerf gun.
It's a Nerf gun? Work on that color theory, bro. Let's see. All right, so we've got a doubler. Got a is that a is that a librarian in Phobos armor? I think that's a librarian in Phobos armor, or Primaris librarian.
Yep, and a Primaris captain, I think.
So this was a little bit harder to tell. These have great shading. Like, you did very well with the shading effect. But I can already see here you got some floppiness here. Old lines. That's just poking out there. But you still managed to paint over it with this contrast paint, and it kind of looks like it belongs. Pretty impressive. Got some staining going on here, bro. Yeah, I can tell you just slapped this on with a paintbrush like willy-nilly. But it's crazy how much.
Like my kind of paint job now that you zoomed in on it. Also, I'm terrible at getting rid of mold lines. I basically don't at all.
Yeah, mold lines are a biatch.
Sometimes when I put models together, I can't quite get them to fit properly, so they're a bit wider in certain ways than they're supposed to be. So,
other than that, fuck, man, I love it. It's got that texture going on. Like, look at these leather bits. That does look like leather, doesn't it? Exactly like leather. Maybe not so much over here, but ignore that and focus on this guy. I'm your Primaris librarian now. So, but yeah, generally speaking, what do you think?
I like it.
And Aladaris, what are your thoughts on these?
It's solid. I mean, I like it actually more than the previous Space Wolf models. So take from that what you will. It might just be the model design of the fan.
I like it. I like it, but with the obvious issues that maybe a little bit more neater with the way that we're manipulating the contrast paints. Just going and investing a little bit more time will make better effect, I think. Fantastic. Still fantastic, though. Okay. Who else we got here? Oh, hey. Our favorite Wolf Lord. Got some other boys in here.
Death Watch, apparently.
I'll vary it with you guys here. What do you guys think?
It looks a bit gray. That's all I'll say. I don't think that's Death Watch's color scheme, but it looks a bit gray.
Death Watch are.
Fine to me.
What's that, Digi?
Looks fine to me.
Death Watch are black with the.
Yeah,
like
black and white. The guys on the left, yeah.
Okay, these guys. This. Oh wait, no, that is Death Watch too. Oh, older. So for this boy, no, you definitely got the same thing going on with the texture. I don't know if this is the same model. Yeah, that is the same model. It is the same model. I can. Yeah. Let's focus on this guy. Okay, he's too gray, dude. He needs to be black. Like, there needs to be black. It is. I double posted. looks more contrast, like a color that can help it pop. Yeah, whenever you, I mean, even you can see with a certain situation where, even if someone's painting with one contrast, like you could actually see lots of things happening on the model. I think is what makes contrast paint so good. You're able to still have a relatively cool looking model, even though you're painting with one color, which is that's cheating. Other than that, the color selection I think is off. I think a black and then separating that metallic feels like that would have been the call. Other than that, looks great. Don't have any problems? That's tabletop ready. Plus. Rifter, are you in chat? Rifter in chat. I just want to make sure that I'm not like going off. Everybody who's posting in Showcase. Okay, Rifter's in chat. Okay. Ready? Oh, okay, Lycerius, that's you. Lyrius. Alright.
He did say it's still a work in progress. It's not quite done yet.
There's a lot that needs to be worked on. It is not it's not complete. This is a kit bash.
About my level of painting skill, to be honest.
Never done power weapons. Yes, I can't quite comment on a non-finished work. If it's a kit bash, then job with the kit bash.
It's the Scorpec Destroyer Lord. It's a new Necron unit.
Oh, okay. I like how you assembled it and are getting ready to work on it. That's something that you did well. And I see that you're going for some interesting color palettes here. A bronze with a that purple, violet. That's going to be interesting. And
using as well, or regular GW paint.
This contrast, or is this regular GW stuff? I know that metallic is probably, but maybe for the shoulder pads, are you using contrast? Oh, okay, you're using the wash for Vallejo Chrome. Oh, okay, so there's a metallicness. Well, interesting. I think I would like to see this as well in a better, less blurrier picture. But
he's got two more underneath it with different angles.
Yeah, let's take a look at those.
The head definitely isn't painted yet. I can tell that much. He's got some rust on the claw hand. It doesn't look too bad. I think that one's contrast, or it may be basic brown wash. I'm not super familiar with them.
I think that might be just like a metallic with a wash on it, and then I think there might be some dry brushing going on there. It does have that brushed on texture that you get from dry brushing. Sparkly. Let me see if I can find a better picture. But yeah, so claw hand looks good. These metallics, it's hard, right? It's hard to do highlights for metallics. Like, that's a very difficult thing. That being said, one thing I could suggest to you is maybe trying, instead of utilizing dry brushing so much, maybe trying to paint on a little bit of edge highlighting instead. Might really get some popping going on with this claw hand, like a lot of opportunity for that. That way you can go heavier with the shape, really get some contrast going. But yeah, it's a cool idea. Um, yeah, keep going, No reason to stop.
It was granite steel, dry brush of canoptic steel alloy, then a wash of the new armor shade, followed by another dry brush of the alloy. Little edge highlighting with some granite steel.
Granite steel, dry brush on canoptic. So what's the shade that the wash?
Armor shade.
Armor shade?
It's a newer one, apparently.
Never heard of that. Is that a P3 formula or is that a GW one?
I think that's. I'm pretty sure that's GW.
W? Huh. Armor wash? Never heard of it. Yeah, well,
It came out with 9th edition, apparently, so it's like brand spanking new.
Yeah, one thing I probably would have done is just like if we're gonna keep, I would have just kind of done a and this is me personally. What I would have done was just kind of paint that bronze, and it could you could do any bronze really, whatever you feel most comfortable with. One of my favorite bronzes is the Warp Block bronze. That's probably, in my opinion, the best bronze. And then I would come in and just edge highlight everything with like Rune Fang steel or something. And then, I'm sorry, I would wash it with like a Rakeland flesh shade. And that is a good way to kind of add the warmth in there. But like I said, man, just keep going. Don't stop. Good work. Am I being kind enough with these critiques? I don't want to crush anybody.
I have no right to judge. I know nothing about painting, so
I don't want to be like crushing people's dreams, but at the same time, I don't want to lie to anybody, right? The Industrial Revolution, and that's the Industrial Revolution from our chat. Go take a look at his Mortarion.
Admittedly, Mortarion is a very complicated model.
Oh yeah, definitely. But Death Guard are my favorite to paint. So this is all right. So what did you use? Use contrast paint? I get contrast paint vibes from this. Got a airbrush with Vallejo dead flesh. Interesting. I've never heard of that technique. So wait, did you okay, so you airbrush this and then what was you wash it? Surely you washed it. This looks like washes. Watered down green wash. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so I think I understand what you did. You came in with some colors and then you kind of came back and dry brushed everything so that you can get highlights, and then you came back and then you dropped washes on it. Is that about right? Well, I gotta say that I've seen a lot of Mortarions, and this is kind of this is a nice, interesting take on them. This is much more paler than what I've seen. He's a pale boy, and all that flayed flesh looking, like it doesn't look like cloaks anymore. It looks like flayed skin, which is a very interesting effect. Just to make sure you didn't. Nah, there's no way you could have green stuff that. No, that's part of his model. What do you guys think on this?
I'm just a big fan of the Mortarion model in general. It's a very large and detailed piece, and I think the colors look pretty nice. It's a little bit difficult to really make out the details on here just because the image quality and whatnot. from my end at least. But I do like it quite a bit, and the wings got some interesting colors underneath it. I don't know how I feel about that, but it's I like the model overall.
What about you, Digi?
I think it looks pretty good. The muted colors definitely is an interesting way to take it, because Nurgle isn't really known for being very bright and colorful, but because, to me at least, because the colors are more muted, there's not really much like differential between much of everything, so it's kind of hard to really point to any one particular thing that looks really nice. But maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I think that, I would agree with you here. You've got some excellent tones, you've got some excellent volume on some stuff, but what you don't have is much contrast. These details kind of blend together, right? And so maybe that's the point, but I don't know, maybe how would I even do this? Just more colors would be great to see. Maybe one thing that you could possibly do is break up all the metallic on this. Use some bronze in there or a gold to try to like break out some of these details. This is probably still a work in progress for you. Yeah.
Even adding some purples somewhere around on this model would probably do a whole heck of a lot to make stuff pop. Like maybe some purple on the trims, like the pauldrons, could probably look really nice.
You could do that. It's really depending on how you're feeling. Maybe even kind of taking another look at the color palette for the cloak here that he's got. Maybe there can be an outside color, and if you did that, then you would add a new element to the color, and that would help make things more contrasted. Also, you have like a skinhead kind of effect going on here, where you have the helmet, which is like basically the same values as the face, and so it jumbles those details together, at least on this picture. Dark Trinity's in chat. I don't know why he wouldn't even. Why you should just pop in. You can pop in. Yeah, more highlights, a little bit more saturation in the green might help you out a bit there. It really depends on how comfortable you are with the values that you want on your model. And also, I'll say it again. Just coming back in here with a bronze will help you break out some of the metallic details and set it aside from the color palette here. What else we got? Okay, this is from also Thunder. That's interesting. That's a bloat drone.
Yeah. I do like the green on it. Makes it pop out a lot more than Morty did.
It definitely does.
I like the orange and like the rusted and broken feeling of it.
It does go well together. Like it the effect of this kind of rusting stainage, you did that well. So good job on you. I've actually painted a bloat drone before, and I've only shown it off about 100 times a day for like a whole month. So
I still need to paint my bloat drone. I need to paint any of my Death Guard stuff.
I love the effect that you did here with the bloat drone on the pigments. I like the green that you chose to go with here. It, you know, that unevenness really helps the look of it. I wish I could see what you did on the back of this model, because there's a almost entirely different story going on the back of this model.
Yeah,
More
I was
likely.
thinking the same kind of thing. It probably would have been better to upload like a
Maybe he's got one.
three-quarter view of it, so you could see some of the back. But I think bloat drones and Death Guard in general would be really good for contrast paints, because even if you get the paints uneven, it still works for Death Guard.
Oh yeah, Death Guard is like a dream probably with contrast paint. Like, oh my goodness. Get like maybe 1 or 2 different contrast paints in your dry brush and you're good to go. Like, just get a big old paintbrush. Get a paint roller. In fact, fuck all that. Just get like a water bottle and fill it up with some contrast medium, and then just spray the shit out of it. Oh, he uploaded some pictures of the backs. Ooh.
Dude, that's fleshy. That is good and fleshy.
That's a fleshy boy. Yeah, if you have your contrast paints, like you have 3 contrast paints, right? And you just start painting this in, you can achieve this effect so easily. And I'm a fan of that. Like, the back of the bloat drone should be nasty and bruised. That being said, I would have done this bruising effect more towards up here, but that's just a personal preference. It looks nasty, it looks slimy, it looks just nurgly. I think the pimples, they may be a little bit overly defined, but I mean, this is a close-up of it, so very nice. Here's another picture. Yucky. So that looks like a varnish of some kind. What'd you do for the effect on this ooze? Nurgle rot from GW. Oh, I didn't know that Nurgle, or I'm sorry, not Nurgle. GW made their own. Yeah, you know what? That's not surprising. Guys, you see this this gash of goo? Yeah, I like it. It's great. Let's take a look at a few more from Industrial. I know Industrial is probably having the greatest time of his life painting all this Death Guard.
Yep. And then once we finish with Industrial, if last call for anyone else to put up their own models, and then I think we should move on to the meme judging.
Yeah. We're gonna do the meme judges. The meme judges. Oh. And here is a Leviathan Dreadnought, or a Relic Leviathan Dreadnought. What is that? A contempt? What it?
Right over the Plague Marine.
That looks good, and I can tell that use some texture, and I like that. That's a great. You didn't go too crazy, where it was like, you know, not very appropriate in a lore perspective, but you went in enough to really tell a story with the paint job. I even like the basing that you did there. He's magnetized?
Probably, considering he doesn't have any arms right now.
Yeah. Here's a back on the. I can't. Is that a Contemptor Dreadnought or a Leviathan? I don't know.
It's a Leviathan.
I don't know the differences. Yep. Looks good, man. I like it. I'm a big fan. I like your paint chipping effects. I like the story that you're telling with this guy. Very nice. And then we can take a look and see what Dark Trinity's been up to. We're gonna have to open this up. What is this, Dark Trinity? What are you doing?
Cutting mono eyes and scope lenses.
Dark Trinity likes to do these crazy ass projects. Dark Trinity, are you still doing the Gundams? Me and him, I'm a big fan of Gundams myself. I don't own any, but I eventually would like to own one. Like a PG grade one.
They still skipped over Revolution's Death Guard unit. The one Plague Marine he put up.
Oh, this boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good. In my opinion, what do you guys think?
The first thing that jumped out to me is the teeth in his guts look like maggots from a distance.
Is that good or bad?
You can't really mess it up with Death Guard. Like,
Yeah, I think it's nice. It's nice and disgusting as it should be.
yep, you could spill paint on this model, and that would be a benefit for a Death Guard paint job. Like, that's how Death Guard works. That being said, I think that you could have added some more color to break up the teeth in here, because there's like that's like a mouth, right? And so maybe there's something going on in there as well. Like, I don't know, off the top of my head, the paint that you have for this tentacle here could have been a good way to pop out that. I can't tell if that's teeth or maggots.
Yes.
Yes.
The answer is yes. Lighting is definitely key, because lighting can make even a good paint job look terrible.
That's true. That is true. Good lighting is everything. And also making your pictures nice and clear and non-blurry. That's very important. Alright, so I don't have any like special effects for this next part, right? But here's what we're gonna do, alright? So the competition, alright, and I issued this directly to Heresy General, because those guys are the most antagonistic on the server, and they just love their memes, right? So I challenged them, and I said, we're going to do a meme challenge, right? And whoever's meme, and we're going to be judging this in a panel of judges, whoever's meme is funniest, the winner will get the Meme King role on the server. I would jump into Heresy General, but I don't think that's appropriate for stream. I think that if I go in there, I'll probably get banned from Twitch. But we are going to look at some of the memes that people have submitted. And so, I don't know. What do you guys, on a scale of 1 to 10 or a 1 to 5? What do you think?
Let's do 1 of 5. Let's keep things simple.
Okay, so 1 to 5. All right, and I'm gonna load up the load up these submissions here on the stream, and then we're gonna go through them together. God, I wish I had a good production for this, because it would be awesome to do that. All right, so this one is by Bailey Brute. When you have a 3-inch charge with a full reroll and fail.
Yeah, that's always painful.
I think that maybe it's not so funny because I've gone through it myself.
I think everyone has gone through that at least once.
I mean, Considering, like, the reason I'm not excited about this is I've seen people fail 2-inch charges. So, and by that I mean like craters and other negative modifiers or charges. But
This happens a lot, and this was submitted by Bailey Brute. Bailey, if you're listening to this, this happens all the time. All right, I'm gonna need you to try harder. So I'm gonna rate you on 1 to 5. I'm gonna give you about. I'm gonna give you a 3.
I'll give it a 2. I think it's a common enough occurrence. But I do understand where it's coming from.
What about you, Digi?
It's relatable enough that I can give it a 3. It's relatable and it can be fairly humorous.
The meme connoisseurs, bros. Yeah, dude, this is too painful for me to just. It's too relatable. It's too real for me. All right, next submission's by C-Boy. SpongeBob meme. Come closer. I need 4 womb terminators.
Well, you might be getting them soon.
Well, we know we're getting 3 wound terminators. I honestly hope we don't get 4 wound terminators. And this is more Space Marine support, so I don't know how to feel about this.
People are going to complain that why don't Terminators have 4 wounds once they get 3 wounds, because then people will bring stuff that will do flat 3 damage to the Terminators and kill them quickly anyways. You know it's gonna happen.
Yeah. But I think this is a bit too much, right? But I don't know. I'm a little bit biased against this.
Okay, you know what, man? I'm gonna give this a 4. I'm gonna give this a 4, and you know why? Because this is for all those people out there who are just salty, who are salty about Space Marines. All right, they're the saltiest dogs out there. This is for them.
Yes, I am salty about Space Marines. How could you tell?
Yes. So give me the 4 wound Terminators. That's a 4 out of 5 for me.
I'll give it a 3. I'm one of those salty people, so I gotta give it a little bit lower.
I'll give it a 2.
Non-bias at all, bro. Alright, so the next one's by Ember Gem. Oh, God. Alright. 90% risk of transmission. 30% risk of transmission. 5% risk of transmission. 1.5% risk of transmission. Hi, I'm new to the server. Where do I download the archive? 0 risk of transmission.
I feel this. I do like this one. I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
It's not as bad as it used to be, but admittedly, it still does happen fairly regularly, but this one's not really all that chuckle worthy for me. It's very much an in-joke in the server, and so it's not really super applicable to the hobby as a whole, so I'm gonna give it.
I am gonna give it a 2 as well, because how dare you criticize me with a meme about the archive? How dare you? The gall. The archive was my idea, guys. Come on. We need a backup. What are you talking about? Okay, but I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. You guys, 16 gigabytes to download is too much. You're tired of people coming in. That's why I made the video. All right. Whenever you see those guys come in and they start asking for the archive, just spam them like 2 or 3. Okay, don't spam them 2 or 3 times, because I know that some of you guys would actually do it. Just let them know. Hit how to. No, it's exclamation point how to, and then that's it. No more archive nightmare. All right. I even spoiler tagged it out. We cannot mess this up, dude. So that was Ember Gem. So yeah, he's 2, 4, and 2 there. Next up is by Grog. Abaddon, I've destroyed Cadia, torn the galaxy in half, and my forces are about to take Ultramar. Nothing can stop me now. Your brain. I'm gonna do what's called a pro gamer move. Okay. I see what you tried to do there. Okay? But I mean, who plays, dude, we're in 9th edition, dude. This is too dated, bro. This is old news, bro. We already know.
Ring Storm.
I'm gonna give it a 2.
I'll give it a 3.
I'll give it a 2. I mean, this came out a little while ago. I mean, it's like, is it your? Do you even credit your brain with it? I don't know.
I could see this being funnier if you put this in the context of like Internet Explorer, right? Put this in Internet Explorer, and then it would be a little bit more funnier. All right. Next up, actually, Grog made 2 submissions, so you can submit up to 3 of them. So Grog made another submission. Let's see. The Anitha comes, the sun rises. Demons in the webway. I'm in danger. The monster moved unseen through the great tunnels and chambers, its tread spreading corrosion through the arcane material that made up this unnatural realm. The Emperor. I'm in danger.
1 out of 5. This is heresy.
Dude, this is like some fucking big brain lore fucking like I'm like, dude, I'm not that I love Warhammer 40K, bro, but like, dude, who even gets this? Does anybody in chat even gets this? Like,
I know, even though I haven't read the book where this happens, I do know the context surrounding this, and I know what it's all referring to. Basically, this takes place during Master of Mankind in the Horus Heresy series, and basically when the Emperor goes to war against the demons as they're trying to pour through the human webway, he basically summons the sun in the webway to hold them all. And the monster that moved through the great tunnels unseen is what was it called? Drachian, the demon that eventually becomes Abaddon's demon weapon, made from the first murder humans ever did.
dude, that's way too. Dude, how do you? I don't even know, dude. This is the most unrelatable meme I've ever seen. I'm giving it a 1 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it a 1 too.
I'll stand by my decision of a 1 as well. Too big brain for me.
Dude, this is too big brain. This is a meme for like the neckiest of beards. This is salt beard status right here, dude. All right, this is the last one. All right, this is Toby. So...
Topical.
Is this the right faction, Adam, you think?
Oh.
Well, normally he'd be Zinch, but now he's definitely Death Guard.
I was thinking Emperor's Children or something like that.
No, it's the Prime Minister of China. He brings the plague. I think you gotta
okay, I get it. I get it now.
China.
That's fair.
Did he even do this though? This is by Toby. Toby, did you? Toby's not in chat, but I'm gonna ask Toby if he actually photoshopped this. I want the sauce. I need proof. But I will say that this is probably like a 5 for me.
I'd say it's a good 4.
I'll say it's a low 4 for me. Low 4, high 3.
Oh my god. Okay. So
that's free. I think we've got a winner.
Yes, we do have a winner, but we also have a fucking loser, dude. I'm gonna. I'm sorry. Hang on. That's hilarious to me. I'll show you guys the score here in just a second. Alrighty, boys. Here's the scoreboard on my notepad. This is most scuffed. Alright, so we had Bailey Brute, who scored a 3, a 2, and then a 3. We had Seaboy with 4, a 3, and a 2. Ember Gem with a 2, a 4, and a 2. Grog's first submission is a 2 out of 2, a 2, and a 3. And then his second submission, who's fucking 2 big brain lore fucking meme posts where nobody could like actually get. You got just ones across the board. And then Toby with his China virus meme. But I'm gonna find out for sure, like, if Toby actually made this image. I need sauce, bro.
Probably not.
Because if he didn't make this image, then that is a violation of the rules. And as you know, we don't play around with the rules around here.
You actually got to make the meme yourself.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So that is the thing. I'm gonna set this aside. I'll deal with these guys here in just a bit.
So trying to find if Toby didn't make this, then we would need to pick a second place winner, but that's going to be hard to do considering everyone else got 3s.
I think the highest total was what, Seaboy?
Seaboy's meme was
4, 3, and a 2, I think.
Nah, it would be Seaboy in second place. I think that's
I
funny.
can be salty with this, but I can also live with it.
I can live with this. This is a pretty funny one. This is just like, come closer. 4 Wound Terminators.
I mean, actually, well, was I the one that gave it a 2? If I was, I'll bump it up to a 3, because I realized I already got this. It's called Assault Centurions. I had my fun with it a couple months back. It was great, but I think that got old. So.
Centurions are terrible. They need a nerf.
I mean, they got one, right? Like, they are quite expensive now. I think a full unit's like 450 points or something like that. So,
Hopefully that'll work.
so very significant price increase there, almost 50%.
So if you guys want to be featured if you guys want to join this competition, there is a channel in the Discord. If you scroll down under off topic, there is the Memeking submission, right? I want as many people on top of this. If I have to make a news post, I will. Don't make me. I'll do it. All right. Memeking submission. Submit your own. It has to be your own memes, and then you too can be judged live on stream by our fabulous judges.
I don't know if it's something you recently did when you started judging, but I don't see that channel anymore.
Yeah, I turned it off so that nobody could do any late submissions. You will see it after I clean it up and get rid of all the submissions so that new submissions can come through.
Gotcha.
So, I see that Amoy is in here, or I'm sorry, Asterith.
Amoy's fine.
I can barely hear you.
Storming.
Amoy's joined in.
Yeah, you joined like right when I think that is probably appropriate to end the stream. But we'll get you in the next stream, huh?
Yep.
But gentlemen, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. With this help, thank you so much for helping me today with your stream. I think we had a lot of good subject stuff to talk about.
Yep. Always good to have some means of having some transparency with the staff, and I think opening it up with that, considering we've been having some bumpy roads to begin with, is a good move.
I think that transparency is great, but let's not try to, like, you know, be this delusional, right? It's coming from some specific people. They want that, like, attention. I feel like they want the attention, and I feel like they're doing it just because they want to be antagonistic. And if you hear what some of the people think, they are very anti-server, and I think that you know, I think with the partnership with Discord, I think we're gonna go a different direction. And if people, like, want to engage in that kind of stuff, I think that they should find another outlet for that. I did want to actually get that message out, so I don't know if this will eventually reach those people, but, you know, other than that, then transparency a bit. I think a rewritten rules, and we've been working on it, and a report system, whether that be a bot or just a form that you can fill out, I think is two very excellent things, so that we can be a bit more consistent because of the way that we're set up. But like all systems, you know, there's some flaws. We have flaws. We made no claims to perfection, but we are doing the best we can.
We're in some growing pains right now. But yeah, I think we're making some good steps in the right direction, and the stream today was pretty good.
You enjoyed the stream? Okay, we'll have to get you in on some more. Honestly, what I think I could do better with the stream is maybe get some topics a little bit more in order. It's pretty tough.
Yeah, but we'll set that for another day.
Exactly. I think
Alright.
that's a good
Thanks,
time
everyone.
to end the stream. I thank you very much, you guys. I very much appreciate you guys for coming in today. And please catch us again soon. We'll be doing the painting streams again very, very soon. In fact, I'm getting everything in the studio ready for the painting streams again, so you will be able to catch me on that. And of course, we've got the podcast coming up for Alpha League. We're going to be doing Alpha League games, and they're going to be pretty regular at 5 p.m. Eastern or 9 p.m. UTC. And that's going to be casted. It's going to be the Alpha League season. What season are we on?
I'd like to say 5.
5? I think maybe 5. Alpha League season 5. Yes. It'll be a very similar setup to the other seasons, but, you know, with actual viewership this time. So please join us for those as well. Oh, and one last thing. I almost forgot this. And I probably should have said this a little bit earlier in the stream. Neri Star Dragon actually wanted me to give a bit of a shout out to her. Do you guys remember Lord? You guys, you know, off of If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech?
Yep. Lord Adornable.
Lord Adornable is actually going to be joining Neri on a game, and he'll be doing his Dorn voice the whole time. So, does anybody remember when that was going to happen?
You
He didn't say, did she?
double check posts.
I'll post a link into the description.
It will be on Wednesday.
Wednesday. I'll host her just in case, if nobody sees it. So it'll be this coming Wednesday, and I don't know when, but I guess I can do something with the alert so that you guys can catch that game, because Lord Dorn from If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech.
Yeah. We're going up in the world. We're getting in contact with the other big name 40Kers.
Something like that. Yep.
Seems like we need some fortifications built.
Yes. All right. Thank you guys so much.